Hello guys and girls, and welcome back to the racing line for another Monday Night Madness. We are back for the RLTC Championship powered by GT Amiga for round 2, the races of Scotland, race 4, 5 and 6. That's it, 3 more touring car races coming your way. And round one of the newer circuits on iRacing, and yet one of the smaller and trickier ones to get right. It's all the way up in Scotland. You can see on screen we are broadcast obviously here on the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch, and of course over with our friends over at VCO Esports on their YouTube channel, wherever you're watching. However, I think Twitch has got some issues tonight, as it appears that there is no connections available. So hopefully everyone's going to jump in and watch us over on YouTube just for today, because I know there's normally a big old Twitch chat gathering over there. So you guys are going to have to make up for that. Jonathan Dale's already in chat and says, let's go. I agree. Let's get started. So, Scotland, here we are. Knockhill, very small circuit. Not many turns at all. A lot of gradients, a lot of hills. And practice is well underway with only just under 10 minutes left before they get started for qualifying. This is what it looks like. Well, 8 minutes left, nearly 7 minutes left, with Daniel Downing in a Hyundai up there in P1 and Stephen King also in a Hyundai in P2. The Hyundai is looking to be a little bit stronger this week, as they compared to Donington last week anyway, when 60% of them were down in the bottom 10. This track definitely more suited to them, just with the way it's laid out. Really, there's unique corners all over the place. And it really is interesting to see how the different cars handle their way over these bumps, etc., etc. It's looking tight in the order again, though. A short circuit, so you would expect it to be close this time round. But like we said earlier, in round 1, we really did think the field spread would be bigger in the Touring Car Series compared to the Jetta Cup Series. And do you know what? They're proving us wrong still. There's a second between 1st and 27th at the moment in practice. So good going to the boys out there currently on track. The Haggerty, love your track guides. Big help! Exclamation mark. Do you know what? That means a lot. Thank you for your comments. They really do. They really do mean a lot. The support this far has been incredible. 5,000 subscribers in January was mental. Just did not expect that. Going to keep going, of course. And see where we can get to. But we are, at the moment, providing you with your Monday night race entertainment. Well, I'm not. I'm just here to talk about it. They, the 30 drivers you see on track, are going to be providing you your Monday night entertainment. But how many of them are going to survive this roller coaster of a circuit is the real question. Jermo's popped in chat and says, Downing is my man today. Come on, Dan. He got a... do you know what? He was really on form in Donington in round 1. He'd done blindingly well. He'd made a wicked move on Morgan Burkhard, no less, for P1 in Donington before he got absolutely ripped a new one by Connor Mills. Sent a dummy and then just tumbled. That got in his head and he tumbled down the order, unfortunately. But can he hold these nerves of steel today? He's got the car advantage today. He's got the pace anyway. So let's see how that Goldwing driver does. Let's have a quick look at our... We always love a little bit of a cheeky animation. So where are we going? There we are. We're in a little truck and we're heading straight up north from Donington, all the way through the United Kingdom, past Carlisle there on the left. I mean, really, this truck should be using the motorway. I imagine it's quicker to Glasgow on the left. We're going to go over Edinburgh, apparently. There we go. Bang. That's our journey all the way up to Scotland. No track maps this time round. David Bauer in chat. Ditto on the track guides. Lifesaver for the TCR series. Would love IMSA NPC guides for the TCRs. Rooting for Downing today too. Oh, it's good to see some people in the chat rooting for some new drivers. There's only 5 minutes left, so whilst we enjoy these scenic cameras, these nice mixed views, they appear to be focused on Jesus Amundre there in the nice Lurchers Academy Hyundai. Let's have a look at... Oh, that's a camera view. Have a look at that one. There was Daniel Downing. There's Connor Mills following him. So those two looking close on track. Connor Mills has pulled over. Let's have a look at the championship standings. That's what everyone wants to know about. Here is where we're at after just 1 round out of 12. This is what your points looks like. Connor Mills is your current championship leader with 117 points. 6 points behind is Jake Cranston, the 2-time Jetta Cup champion. Mats Borg Anderson, a new driver here on the racing line, is there in 3rd with his teammate Damien Harris in 4th. Only 1 point separating those two, the Honda and the Audi driver of Team Fear Factor. Morgan Burkhard and John Bailiff are P5 and 6. Marshall Fritsch and Kieran Dempsey P8. Daniel Downing is currently P9, even with a disappointed attitude last time. He's there in P9 in the top 10. Andre Majorek there in P10 as well. Eric Manetveld, Mod Taki, Sam Van Olst, Jeremy Agard, Stephen King, Andy Fox, Equal Quay, and Duncan Ray round off your top 18. And then Sebastian Broberg, Alejandro Caraday, David Corpus, Dan Blake, Jameson Huffman, Donny Henriksen, Carl Ridley, Stephen Burns, Stephen Fry, Jesus Amundre, Joseph Gibson, and Dan Thornton currently down there on the bottom end of the order, both for Team ORD, looking for a much better score this time round, I'm sure. Now, this season's a little bit different because we are going to break down each individual class as well by the end of the season. Gemmo's in chat again saying, yeah, boy, this is what your Audi RS3 championship looks like. There's 10 cars of each, remember, 10 teams, all with 3 drivers, 10 Audis, 10 Hondas, 10 Hyundais. This is your Audi championship. Same points, obviously. It's just reordered so that you can see clearly who is in what position in their own manufacturer, as it were. Connor Mills leads the way with Damien Harris behind. Morgan Burkhardt in P3, Kieran Dempsey, Taki Vanals, Fox, LeQuay, Burns and Gibson are your Audi RS3 drivers. In the Hyundai Elantra Championship, Marcel Fritsch is leading the way, just 10 points ahead of Daniel Downing, so he'll be looking, definitely with the pace he's got today, to take the lead of the Hyundai Championship for sure. Eric Manetveld is there, a surprise in P3 for Lurchus Academy. He's a new driver for us as well. Stephen King is down there in P4 currently, but P2 in practice time, so he'll be looking to jump up that order for sure. He had a little bit of a nightmare at Donington, not in terms of crashes, just a little bit worried about pace, but I'm sure he's looking a little bit more keen now. Donny Henriksen and Jameson Huffman and Dan Blake 5th, 6th and 7th. Stephen Fry, Jesus Amundre and Dan Thornton round off your Hyundai Elantra field. Your Honda Civics look a little bit like this. It's Jake Cranston who leads the way, with some strong performances from Mats Borg Anderson as well there in P2. John Bailiff is in P3, Andre Majorek, Jerry Agard, Duncan Moran, Sebastian Broberg, 6 weeks old on iRacing is Sebastian, and had some cracking races, and even one of his overtakes made it onto the top 3 overtakes of the week. Keep an eye out for that. You should really follow us on Twitter, actually. We're hyping up the Twitter train this season. And we've got Germo actually in chat is really smashing out those tweets. You can vote for overtakes of the week. You can see who gets your fastest laps and get championship updates as well. David Benitez and Carl Ridley round off your Honda championship. Your team's championship with 1 minute and 10 of practice left to go looks a little bit like this. That's right. Like I said, there's 10 teams, and even though they've got 1 car of each, they are, of course, all driving together. You will notice they all have the same liveries on, so that you can tell who is driving with who. Team Fear Factor actually lead the way with 289 points, just over 30 points ahead of Pulsus Esports, All Sports Racing down there in P3. So the top 3 having a little bit of a breakaway already after 1 round. Can they continue that? But I'll tell you what, Team Goldwing are looking fairly strong here at Knockhill. And we know what Sam Van Olst's defense is like, so he's going to be one to watch for sure. Duncan Murray's up there in the top 10 again based on pure pace. So Sam Van Olst will be disappointed with 22nd at the moment, but watch out for his racecraft. Meatball Motorsport is in P5, just 1 point ahead of Lurchus Academy, the B team to Lurchus Gaming Team, who are actually ahead. So Lurchus Academy need to pat themselves on the back for being ahead of their A team. Win It or Bin It Racing and Masters of Traction, 2 old school teams from the Jetta Cup, down there in 8th and 9th with 95 points each with their star drivers currently driving for other teams. But they will be looking to improve that for sure. And Team ORD only 9 points behind. Was that 11 points? 11 points behind for Team ORD in P10. And that is what our championship looks like right now. Hyundai's looking great for Knockhill, says David Bauer. The Haggerty, 27 drivers within 1 second lap times. Nice. You say nice now, it gets crazy. Germo, King and Downing have got a win with their name on it. You would assume so. You really would think so. I'm gutted Twitch isn't with us today, but I'm glad that you guys are heading in the comments on YouTube, because that is what we want to see. But this is where we're at now. Qualifying is about to begin. We have got 10 minutes, and they are all out on track at the same time, to go and set those fastest laps. Let's have a look. There's your track map. Look at them all. They're all going to come flying out. Connor Mills leads the way. He wasted no time in getting on that circuit. I'll tell you what we haven't. I don't think we've been on board with any Hyundais. Really, we should focus on Daniel Downing at some point, because he has been absolutely rapid in practice. Connor Mills is letting Marcel go by the looks of it. They can't slow down too much or hinder anyone on a time lap. Damien Harris is going to come flying through in the background. Where is Daniel Downing? He doesn't look like he's on track at the moment, so we shall, let's go on board with Marcel Friesch and see What is he saying? Here we go then. He looks like he's still weaving down this straight currently. So you would assume that this is not going to be his time lap, but we'll stay on board with him anyway. Goes over to the pit line, over to the left-hand side, gets it turned in fourth gear, gets back on that power nice and early, cuts the curve on the left, keeps it on the left-hand side to open up this right-hander. Down to second gear, it's kind of off camber there, it really wants to drag you out to the gravel, flat out through this right-hander, just a small confidence lift, and then the tricky chicane right over that curve, keeps it nice and safe. I'll tell you what, that was smooth from Marcel, so this might not be his lap, but he's doing well. Over to the left-hand side, up the hill into this blind right-hander. You want to get your power on nice and early, use all the curve on the exit, even a bit of gravel if you're feeling a little bit cheeky. And then look, he's weaving down this straight, so this is definitely not his hot lap, but it's going to be the first timed lap on the board as he brakes heavy for the hairpin, takes it down to first gear, gets it turned in, late apex, and then away he goes. And that is a lap of the Knockhill International Racing Circuit. Is he going to go fastest, or is someone behind going to have committed to that first lap? There goes Marcel. Yeah, Harris 2 tenths quicker, and here comes all the times. Mills, Lequay goes fastest in the Audi. Top 3 Audis there, actually. That's good going from them. Where is Lequay? There he is in the Lurchers Academy car. Andy Fox, Stephen Fry, Morgan Burkhardt. Now the times start tumbling in. The Audi's actually taking first blood here, going straight to the top of the times. There was a Lurchers gaming car, one of the Hondas, absolutely sliding it round. I believe that's Caraday in the Lurchers gaming Honda. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, there he is. He's gone back to the pits, so that didn't go well. Morgan Burkhardt currently sits on top. Just Evo Things says no Twitch today. They appear to have issues. Just Evo Things. They couldn't connect, and the stream just won't go live. So it's something to do with an API connection issue. So I just left it at that. I waited for the hour, and they are not live. But it's okay because we are here, obviously, on the Racing Line YouTube and over on VCO Esports YouTube still as well. Cranston goes fastest in the Honda. Didn't expect to see many Hondas up there this week. A lot of the drivers talking throughout the week about how these cars handle around this circuit. The Honda's still violent. Thank you. Thank you, Black Bob. The Honda's still violent even after the suspension update, but clearly still with a bit of pace as Jake Cranston beats his teammate by just 0.02 of a second exactly. To take P1 currently. There is 6 minutes left of qualifying. Who should we focus on? Where? I'll tell you what, where is Daniel Downing? He's currently here. Takes a nice wide exit. Let's go on board with this young man. Downing's out on track, says Germo. He knew we wanted to watch Daniel Downing. Here he is. He's got a lot of hype around him. He's got a lot of pressure on him this week. And now we're on board with him for his quali lap. Takes a nice calm entry to turn 1, keeps it left, a beautiful line through the S's, down into second gear, getting slipstream off Duncan. I don't think that was a 1X. I mean, he's using the limits. Can he get through this chicane? Yes, he can. Oh, he's going to go off there as well. That might have been a 1X. He'll be frustrated if it was. Gets it turned into this next right-hand. Obviously, track limits can be fairly stingy at times, but then again, you can use a little bit of gravel all over the place on here. They're coming to the halfway point of qualifying now. I wonder if some drivers are opting not to take qualifying. That would be silly seeing how close the field is. There's no real benefit to starting at the back other than you're hoping to miss a crash. As Mats Borg Anderson shoots to the top of the times by another 200ths in the Honda. He took pole position last time out, did Mats Borg Anderson, and Morgan Burkhardt makes short work of that as he takes P1, and Jameson Huffman shoots to P2, just 69 thousandths behind. That is an American 1-2 at the moment. Daniel Downing, did he improve? It doesn't look like it, so he did 1X that lap. He needs to get this lap in. Absolutely needs to get this lap in. Does Daniel Downing. Still on the nose. He's got Duncan Murray ahead, giving him the slipstream. Kyle Ridley up ahead in the Win It or Bin It Honda, nearly in a tricky spot there to move out the way. Not quite. So this lap should count. I don't think he 1X this one. Where's this going to put Daniel Downing on his first attempt? Currently no time, and it puts him up into P7. 3 tenths off of pole. Would he be disappointed with that? I don't know. He's not the fastest Hyundai at the moment. Marcel Frisch just 300ths ahead of him in P6. But Jameson Huffman has absolutely come out of nowhere with that lap time. So that is impressive stuff from the American driver for All Sports as Morgan Burkhardt pulls out all the All Sports cars currently going in. Here's Jake Cranston in the All Sports Honda on the back stretch. It's an All Sports 1-2-4. I've got a feeling that one of these little teams, has been putting in a lot of practice this week to take that crown. And fair play to them. You got the Jetta Cup champion times two times champion here in the Honda. His biggest rival of Season 2 in the Audi. And Jameson Huffman, who showed flashes of speed, just couldn't commit to all the races. And there goes Daniel Downing on his next attempt. As we were talking about how good All Sports are, Daniel Downing shoots up to P2, just 27 thousandths off of Morgan Burkhardt in the Audi. Can he do it? There's 3 minutes left. It's only a 50-second lap, for crying out loud. So what can he do? This is going to be impressive stuff. Damien Harris still out on track in the Audi. He's currently getting towed by Dan Blake for win it or bin it. And he's got Connor Mills behind him. Connor Mills seems to have just one target in his mind, and that is to beat Damien Harris over the course of the season. Damien having a target on his back at the moment. Starting off, he's got the highest I rating, I think, in the field. But we all know how close TCR racing gets. It doesn't just always go that way. Yes, Dan, says Germo. David Bauer says, yes, sir. Come on, look at that. This is nice. Although, where's the Lurchers crew at? We normally love the Lurchers crew getting involved. They're normally on Twitch. I wonder if they've jumped over to us on YouTube, whether they're here or on VCO Esports, as we see a lot of swapping around going on back here. John Bailiff out there in the Pulsar Esports Honda still going round. 2.5 minutes left. Donnie Henriksen for the Masters Attraction Hyundai. We haven't seen Masters Attraction much this qualifying. There he is. It's a beautiful car. It's nice to see some orange out there. Now, balance of power gets mentioned a lot about these touring cars, but realistically, people just love a moan. I mean, it's still really close. Now, you're going to say the Hyundai has the advantage here, especially if you're not in a Hyundai. But there's currently an Audi sat on pole, and the Hondas aren't too far behind either. It really does obviously make a difference with who's driving. Dan's improving, it says Joshua Germany. It seems to have pulled in with only a minute left. Carl Ridley's pulling over. It looks like they're starting to pull over. There's a Meatball Motorsport car. We haven't seen much of that. We saw Sebastian Broberg in the background earlier. Lovely purple and orange scheme as John Bailiff goes into pole position 6 thousandths quicker than Morgan Burkhardt in the Pulsar Esports Honda. Another Honda pole position. That is 2 rounds in a row. And there's only 1 minute left. I'm not sure this is going to get beaten. If it is, you've got a Hyundai here. Stephen King is still going round. That is impressive stuff. No one called a Honda being on pole position, and that is going to inflate someone's head. Something nasty up there in the Discord chat for sure. I can't believe I just said that either. I've been hanging out with the Americans too much. Something nasty. We need to get that out of my vocabulary quick time. But there is Stephen King. He's pulling into the pits by the looks of it. I think that is a done deal. Kieran Dempsey is still going around trying to set laps. There's 20 seconds left of qualifying. There is Stephen Burns in the Masters Attraction Audi. Dan Blake is still out there in the Win It or Bin It Hyundai. And David Corpus is there in the Lurchus Academy Honda. 10 seconds left. David Corpus is going to cross the line. He's currently in 30th place. Is he going to improve? He's got 5 seconds to cross the line. Here he goes. Does he go up? 1.26 seconds off of pole. And no improvement for David Corpus. Both Lurchus Academy cars currently down in the bottom place. That is great stuff. It's grid time. Here we go. John Bailiff then takes pole position in a shock qualifying lap. Morgan Burkhardt, Daniel Downing, and Stephen King round off your front 2 rows. Jameson Huffman, Matt Sanderson, Jake Cranston, and Damien Harris round off up to P8. Marcel Frisch, Andre Mayerek, Donnie Henriksen, and Eric Manintveld, your top 12. Well done to Eric for the Lurchus Academy team. Stephen Fry, Carl Ridley, Kieran Dempsey, Mod Taki, Jesus Amundere, Sebastian Broberg, Andy Fox, and Stephen Burns round off your top 20. Sam Van Olst, Joseph Gibson, Duncan Murray, Dan Blake, Dan Thornton, Alejandro Carriday, Jerry Agard, Connor Mills, Ika Lequay, and David Corpus round off your 30 grid slots. And there he is. There's your man. John Bailiff in the Honda. Crazy stuff. 18 laps this race is. Pulsus bias, says Matt. So I'm glad he's jumping in that. That top 5 is separated by 0.76. My God, says Germo. Impressive, says David Bauer. We're just waiting for a couple of guys to grid. There's only 45 seconds left before they have to. There we go. They are starting to arrive. It's a nice small circuit. You'd assume Blimp Cam is going to give us a fair old view of the start. Chaos is going to ensue. Let me know what the sound has been like. I don't know if the engines have been quiet. We like to hear a bit of an engine roar. And thank you for joining us. If you have joined us here on the Racing Line YouTube and the VCO Esports YouTube, it's always good to see you. And thanks for joining in chat. Here we go. The time is up. 1 of 18 laps is about to start. 4, 5 lights. Here we go. Who's going to get the best start? Green lights are on and away they go. And John gets a cracking start in the Honda. Dan Downing hasn't failed his start yet. Damien Harris has had a flying start in the Audi back there for Fear Factor. But Burkhardt is going to go around the outside of John Bailiff on lap 1. Surely not. He does. He swoops around the outside, does Morgan Burkhardt. What is going on here? He's going to try and hold it around the outside of turn 2. This is going to be risky stuff. Now he's on the outside of turn 3 into the chicane. Oh, they're going to go side by side. Morgan Burkhardt takes the lead up into the chicane of Knockhill. Daniel Downing still slots into 3rd place. And there is a crash behind. Someone's gone off in the background. Jesus Amundere is involved in another incident on lap 1. But look at that. Fairly safe, I think. Oh, no. Duncan Murray again. And Marcel Friesch in the Hyundai. There we go. There's a couple of cars involved. And Morgan Burkhardt takes the lead. But John Bailiff is still hounding him down. And now Dan Downing looking to get the switch back as they head down the main straight. Here we go. Morgan Burkhardt leads the way. Daniel Downing flashing his lights to John Bailiff. And look at Mats Borg Anderson joining in on that fun as well as he flashes Stephen King in the Hyundai. There's 2 Pulsars cars in that top 5. All Sports lead the way with Goldwing and Fear Factor in there as well, whilst All Sports create a little bit of a roadblock back here. Jameson Huffman leading the All Sports team, well, leading the All Sports team defence back here so that Burkhardt can try and secure a win. We're on lap 2 already. As we saw a couple of cars going to the pits, it was Murray and Harris actually in the pits. That is a shame to see him in there that early on in the race. Ridley and Fry have swapped places. That's because we see people going off left, right and centre. And Connor Mills is tumbling down the order. Your championship leader is also going back as Carl Ridley goes off the road. Was he helped? He comes back on. But why is Connor Mills back down this order? He's in 17th currently. 16th now. He's got Sam Van Olst behind him as they enter the chicane. Not the chicane, that's a hairpin. There's so much going on. Clearly, I have no clue. A lot of survivors, 2 cars in the pits, but a very mixed up order here. As we head on to lap 3 of 18, they're heading into turn 1. It should be single file lines as the Audi, an Audi loses its rear end there. Nothing that Connor could do there. As Gibson tumbles down the order, he just had a big slide. It's really difficult to avoid a sliding car when they're right in front of you like that. I will say that. I mean, we'll watch it back later in the steward's room in case it is reported, of course, as Kyle Ridley is going to look up the inside of Sam Van Olst. Sends it up the inside of Sam Van Olst in the Honda Civic, and Sam holds it around the outside. Big old power slide from Sam Van Olst around the outside and keeps that position as they head towards the hairpin. And now Connor Mills has got a little bit of a break as he heads towards the front of the pack. And Morgan Burkhardt really extending that lead from John Bailiff as Broberg and Thornton are going side by side. Broberg absolutely tried sending it around the outside of the hairpin. That didn't work. And now look how much ground he's lost to the Hyundai of Dan Thornton in Team ORD up ahead. He's even got Jesus Amundere with a damaged front end of that car. Looking up the inside of Team 1. Is he going to try and send it? It's a dangerous place to give it a go. He backs out. He can't quite get that done. And now he's got the Lurchus gaming car of Caraday right behind him looking to fight through. Couldn't get that done. Marinveld looks close to Andre Majorek up here as they head towards the blind right-hander. Uphill into the right-hander they go. Ignore that. Don't worry about that. Eric Marinveld is on a charge for Andre Majorek. Is he going to make a move into the hairpin? Andre's going to need to defend if he doesn't want that to happen. It doesn't look like Andre is going to defend. Eric Marinveld moves in to P9. That was quite fairly safe. I wonder if Andre is playing the long game because that was too easy for Eric, and now they can carry on and head up to Marcel Friesch, who's currently in P8. in that lead train. This is what your gap looks like in the lead as we see a slow Audi moving out of the way. That's Joe Gibson coming out of the pits. Lap 5 of 18. So the gap's not as big as it looks like on the timing screens. 7/10 is the gap. And this is what it looks like in your classes. Downing leading the way for the Hyundais with King in second. Burkhardt and Fox the top 2 in the Audis, and Bailiff and Anderson the top 2 in the Hondas. But we want to see the overall standings. John Bailiff, Dan Downing is really going to be hounding John for the rest of this race, I think, as Cranston is making moves back there, or being made moves on. That's Matsborg Anderson all over the back of Jake Cranston. It's Honda v Honda with a Hyundai up ahead, and Marcel Freak. Look at this. This track looks hella dangerous. Yes, it is. Downing is hustling. Ignore the man behind the curtain. There we go. So Matsborg Anderson right up the backside of Jake Cranston there as they head into turn 1, but no contact made. Do you know what? It's fairly safe, but it is race 1. Race 1 is always fairly safe, so if the carnage is happening in this one, I would have been worried for race 2 and 3. I'm hoping that they can keep the mindsets all the way through these 3 races, because it really is a tight track. It is an absolute roller coaster of emotions, I'm sure. We're going to see people start climbing up the order. But here we go on lap 6. We're 1/3 of the way through. And Van Olst is looking close to Connor Mills again. Look at this. They're heading towards the hairpin, and Sam Van Olst has the inside on Connor Mills. I wonder if that Audi has engine damage, or is Sam Van Olst just absolutely rapid in race pace all of a sudden, as Connor Mills gives him room on the outside, has to slot in behind. And there we go. Sam Van Olst moves up into P14. Good move there for the Goldwing driver, and Connor Mills is looking to fight back. Is he going to go around the outside of turn 1? Surely not. Sam Van Olst is going to think, go on then, big boy, try and go around the outside of me, I dare you. He doesn't quite. He tries to get the switchback, does Connor Mills. Switchback after switchback. Round the outside of turn 2. No. Can he switch back to the inside for turn 3? He's going to give it a go, and Sam Van Olst does go wide. And look at that. Connor Mills reads him like a book, and straight back up into P14 he goes. Through the chicane, and now Sam's going to flash his lights, saying, come on, give me that back. Come on, it weren't my fault. It is what it is. That is racing, my friend. Fun to drive, says David Bauer, this circuit. It is fun to drive, but only if you get it right, is how we're going to leave that one. 3 attempts between Bailiff and Downing. 10 laps to go. And no more big crashes. I think if there was going to be, I mean, you can't preempt these things, but I think if there was going to be one more big crash, there likely would have been a safety car in race 1. We'll see how the start of race 2 goes. Donny Henriksen is absolutely hounding Andre Majorek. Jermo's still rooting for Dan Downing in chat. He's currently in P3 though. I wonder what mindset is Daniel Downing in that Hyundai Elantra. Is he going to fight tooth and nail for that win? Or, oh, Agard's tumbling down the order. What's happened here? Is he going to settle for P3, Daniel Downing? Here's what happened to Agard. Into turn 1 he goes. He's going to lose it on the curb. Bounce. Yep, there he goes. That's what happens with the Honda. We knew we was going to see that at some point. Ooh. Fair play to everyone around him. Parted the Red Seas. Ooh. Oh, no. Someone's wheel is gone. It's Jerry's. He's going to pull into the pits for that. Let's go back live. It's good to see parts flying around, but there we go. He is keeping it close, as David Bauer. Got to have better pace than P2. It's going to be fairly even. It's a tricky track to get past. As we head on to lap 10, Morgan Burkhardt still leading the way after an amazing move on lap 1. He absolutely nailed the start. I think LeQuay went off track, and that's how Kieran Dempsey got past. Is it going to be the usual uphill chicane shenanigans? Yep, bounces wide, big old slide onto the gravel, and there goes Kieran Dempsey up on the inside. An easy move for the Meatball Motorsport Audi in the end. This purple sector's being set by drivers still at this point in the race. You've got John Bailiff has set a purple sector 1. Daniel Downing had set a purple sector 2. So they are absolutely swapping times. This is your lead fight. Well, for P2, your lead fight for P2, if that makes sense. This is Daniel Downing's nose. Round the outside of the hairpin. John Bailiff gets a decent exit. There's some swapping around going out down that midfield. Taki's dropping down the order, as is Ridley. What has happened to Mod Taki down there? Did he get a slowdown? This is just Jerry coming out of the pits. He didn't crash coming out, did he? He just stopped and waited for people. Yeah, yes he did. This is what happened to Taki, I think. Up the inside of Sam Van Alst. Oh! Well, that'll happen. He needs some luck. He does need some luck, does Taki. That's 2 races. I don't think I'm going to call that one early as a racing incident, I think. Just the way the car behaved. But, could be wrong. And like I said, we'll watch it later. But that one to me looked like a racing incident. This is the back of John Bailiff's car with the Goldwing Hyundai all over the back of him. 6 laps to go in race 1. And remember, it goes straight into race 2 after this. What can Dan Downing do? He looks really close through that right-hander. Tucks in behind. John's no slouch on defence though. Just round the outside every time. Can't quite get his car. Look at that. John just shuts the exit as Mannenveld and Frisch are going side by side back here into the hairpin. That's a Hyundai battle that we didn't see happening for P8 and 9. Look at there. Mannenveld, can he get the run, or has Frisch got the outside? Frisch got the outside as he heads down the main straight. Broberg and Thornton are still going at it back here into the hairpin. There you go. Downing has got pace. Can't tell too much as David Bauer. Just seeing P1 pulling away a bit and Downing keeping it close. But then you've got these two going side by side as they head down towards turn 1. This is never a good idea into turn 1. Broberg's got the inside. Thornton's got the outside. Is anyone going to give up? Thornton does give up, but in a good way, because it means he's going to keep a P18 and he could have risked losing it all. And there he goes in the top 20. Broberg keeps that position though in P17. Something has happened up here because Stephen King, surely, I don't know if I've just been snoozing, but Stephen King wasn't that close to this lead battle. I've got a feeling there's a team game being played up here. John Bailiff's defence clearly strong enough to start playing a little bit of games and bring his teammate into podium contention. It won't be a fan favourite move, but when has Pulsar's been a fan favourite move? Stephen King all over the back of Daniel Downing with 4 laps to go in race 1. John Bailiff, where has he come from, Jermo? I don't know. It has to have been John's defence, because Stephen was, I'm sure he was over a second back. And now look at him, right there. That is the plan, I imagine. John Bailiff is probably trying to get King involved so that he can pull away and snatch P2, because he knows he's under pressure from down in here. He just can't get the move done around this outside line. You need to try and get a switchback and a better exit, but it really opens you up. That outside line opens you up to the people behind, and that is where Downing is losing his pace to the cars behind. It's just being forced around the outside every single time, but he is still right on the backside of John Bailiff. He has to do it now. Fleisch is 9 moves to Twitch today, or is Twitch not working? Yeah, there's an API issue. Daniel Downing nearly sends it into turn 2. Nearly got it done. Nearly contact. I keep saying nearly. That is how you drive. Safe all the way round. Yes, we have Twitch issues, Fleischmann. Unfortunately, it just won't connect. It's on Twitch's end, so we'll have to leave it at that. But we are live here, of course, on VCO Esports and the Racing Line channel, as we have got 3 laps left of this race. We're heading on to lap 16 out of 18, and Daniel Downing is still piling on the pressure. He's had a hell of a drive so far to keep P3, but John Bailiff has been putting up a sterling defence, and Stephen King's starting to drop back again. But can Bailiff hold on to P2, or is Daniel Downing going to snatch his highest finish of the season? That's what he's aiming for. Is he going to have another look up the inside of turn 2? Thinks better of it. Corpus and Dempsey are going at it in 22nd and 23rd place. But I can't take my eyes off this, because I just feel like something is going to happen Germo is saying he has to do it now. It's lap 16 of 18. Is he going to get the inside into the right hander? He does. Daniel Downing up the inside of the blind right hander, and John Bailey's going to try and hold it around the outside. He does manage to do so. He gets around. There's a bit of contact on the exit. It's all door banging. It's TCRs, and Dan can't quite make the move stick. Is he going to go up the inside of the hairpin? No. Now Stephen King's closing in into the final hairpin. Daniel Downing can't let Stephen have that inside. Stephen's going to try and get the better exit. Pretty hard track for overtaking. It is. Max Klopper, it is indeed. But here is Daniel Downing right up the backside of John. Stephen King couldn't get it done. Is he going to go around the outside of turn 1? Surely not. It's a risky move, but he's going to give it a go. Is Daniel Downing. Down the hill he goes into turn 2. Lap 17 of 18 as Matt Borg Anderson absolutely sends it up the inside of the All-Sport car back there. Couldn't get the move done, but it was a hell of an attempt from Matt Borg Anderson in P7 to try and take P6 from the All-Sports Honda of Jake Cranston, but we're still focusing on these two as we approach our final lap. John Bailiff is absolutely soaking up the pressure. It's almost like he's had plenty of practice at this. I wonder what is going to happen. There's one lap to go. Is Dan going to get desperate, or is he going to keep his head cool? Is he going to snatch a P3, or is he going to snatch a P2, or is he going to tumble down the order and lose it all for a little bit of glory? What is going to happen with Daniel Downing? We're on to the final lap now. Morgan Burkhardt is 4 seconds clear of the rest of the field because of this fight. John Bailiff P2, Dan Downing P3, Stephen King P4. What order are they going to finish in? I fully thought Downing was dead. Nope, here he is in the Goldwing car, trying to secure his highest finish. He's going to be happy with this. He's going to, well, is he going to be happy? He's hard on himself sometimes. I know he's going to be expecting the win, but this is only race 1 of 3, so he's got a couple more attempts. After we saw a big crash at the start, didn't actually see a replay of what happened, but here we go. It's going to be the final attempt into this hairpin, I'm sure of it. Can he do it? It doesn't look like he's close enough. John Bailiff is... Oh, a bit of contact, bit of a nudge. And this is your race winner, Morgan Burkhardt. He's going to cross the line. He's flashing his headlights. Morgan Burkhardt takes the win of race 1. And John Bailiff, P2 in the end. Daniel Downing really put up a proper fight there to try and take that P2. And Stephen King takes P4 with the All-Sports pair of Huffman and Cranston. That is a big points haul for Team All-Sports in 1st, 5th and 6th. You then got Anderson and Fritsch there in P7 and 8 standing up for Team Fear Factor, because we didn't quite see what happened at the start when Damien Harris was involved in a crash. I wonder. Oh, bounced in. Oh, no. No, no, no. That's what happened. That's how he got tagged round. So into the right hander they went. He bounces over the curb. And then it just cuts out before we before we see what happens. We need to go through the grid quick time, you know, because this is race 2 straight away. Jake Cranston with a reverse 6 is going to take pole position with Huffman in 2nd. Stephen King, Dan Downing, John Bailiff, Morgan Burkhardt, Matt Anderson, Marcel Fritsch, Eric Mannenfeld and Donnie Henriksen are your top 10. Stephen Fry, Andre Majorek, Andy Fox, Connor Mills, Sam Van Olst, Stephen Burns, Sebastian Broberg, Dan Thornton, Carl Ridley, Alejandro Caraday are your top 20. Dan Blake, Kieran Dempsey, David Corpus, Ike Lequay, Mod Taki, Isis Mundere, Gibson, Harris, Murray and Agard, your 30 drivers in that order. But I forgot to mention about the double reverse grid format. As we are waiting for them to take the grid, and here they are. Race 2 is about to start. 4 lights, 5 lights. I can't even catch up on chat because the lights have gone green already, and lap 1 of 18 begins again, and Jake Cranston has got a decent start. Dan Downing has bogged down slightly on the start, and it looks like, is Morgan Burkhardt going to move up again and overtake those two? Yes, he does. He swings it around the outside of turn 1, and have a look at that. But let's have a look at this. There's more crashes behind. Someone's going to come rolling onto the track and nearly collects a load of other drivers, and that is going to be a safety car.
The yellow flag is out.
Audi start OP, says Iku. At least I can catch up on chat. Let's look on the bright side. Where were we? Naughty John says, just Evo things, so much pressure. Good racing though. Stay on this please, says Germo. Fully fought down and was dead. Duncan died again this week. I missed the first 13 laps. Duncan did die again on lap 1. That was a great fight. Audi start OP. Pace car is out. There was a number of cars involved in that lap 1. At least it is a nice short track. And this is Jake Cranston's view of said pace car. Murray is pitting, so he's got damage again. Duncan Murray. Can the boy get any luck? Is it luck? Or is he just putting himself in these positions? It's not unfair of me to say, it's just a question. As Jake Cranston weaves to warm up his tyres. Gives us stepped away for 2 seconds and missed the chaos. I tell you what, we can try and have a replay of it if you want. Whilst this is out. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's go back and do that again. It's really hard to tell what happened, to be fair, because there were cars everywhere. You got 4 wide into turn 1 in the middle of your screens. So the top guys seem to have survived. And then that's where everyone sort of closes in. Donnie Henriksen was a passenger there to a late move. That's probably going to be a penalty for the Meatball Motorsport car, to be honest. It was optimistic on the start. I don't know who that is. I think it's a Hyundai of Stephen Fry. You've got 3 cars going down the order. And then look at the Hyundai just come back onto the track. And then everyone has to disperse. Out, left, right, left, right. Good avoidance from Andy Fox there. And Corpus in the Lurchers Academy Honda. But then I think more happens up ahead. You got John Bailiff off in the gravel there somehow. The Lurchers Academy car backwards. John Bailiff is going to come back on. And it looks like he's going to... Yeah, he's going to take the safe route back on and go all the way up the gravel. Let's go back live. Looks like everyone is back on the racetrack. And judging from the gap that Cranston is leaving, I think it might be time for that pace car to come in. Although I thought those yellow flags would have disappeared if it was time for the pace car to come in. No, there he goes. He's gone. Jake Cranston has gone, and there we go. The yellow flags have disappeared, the green lights are on, and Jake Cranston has got a fairly safe restart. Here comes everybody else. It's a big old field spread. Duncan Murray sends it around the outside of the hairpin of Donnie Henriksen there in the Masters of Torque car as they head down the main straight. But this is your lead fight as Jake Cranston pulls away in the lead. Stephen King's going to come under pressure from Morgan Burkhardt, currently sat in P3. And Daniel Downing is still up in there in your top 5. Simple way to miss no stop crash. Stay focused on Duncan. Harsh, but possibly fair at the moment. Chat is going hard. Broberg's off. I feel like in that position of the track, that was his own doing. I could be wrong. As Donnie Henriksen moves up another place, passes Taki there into the right-hander. Duncan Murray is going to try and pass and make a move into the hairpin. Is he going to send it up to the inside? Oh, backs out of it. Playing it safe now. Taki goes to slot in behind Henriksen. Duncan does still hit him. I sometimes find it hard to understand when to go for restarting. Same thing goes for rolling starts. It's a tricky one, but it's easier to decide when you're leading. As we see these two go side by side into turn 1. It was a little bit cheeky of Duncan there. You'd have to ask, did he gain an advantage from that contact? I saw Manintveld make a move to Matsborg Anderson for P6 up here. And that is Dan Downing in Manintveld's sights as they head into the hairpin, lap 5 of 18. Damien Harris moving up the order. Oh. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. Mannenveld has gone off. You can see a number of cars actually off. Look at that. There's two Team Fear Factor cars. Damien Harris has parked them both. That is Anderson and Fritsch and Mannenveld tumbling down the order. But we're on board with Damien Harris. He's going to have a look up the inside of Ike Lequay in the Audi. And a done deal there. Let's go find out what happened to the Team Fear Factor team. Because that looked like a big one. Oh no, Mats Borg Anderson just tags him round. Collects his teammate, all stemmed from Mats getting his nose in on the exit of the chicane. And this is the awkward thing with front wheel drive. Look, Mannenveld just can't get the car round. Such a shame. He's trying. Has he lost a wheel? I don't think he has. He's just waiting for the traffic. And there he goes. Such a tiny mistake. Big price to play for Eric Mannenveld. So, we're on lap 8 of 18. There's 10 laps to go. We're approaching the halfway stage. Jake Cranston is still leading the way. Half a second back is Jameson Huffman. These guys, I said it earlier, surely they have been putting in the practice, because this is a dominant performance so far from All Sports Racing. And you would have to say, especially after seeing the Fear Factor cars go off together, Fritsch being collected by Mats Borg Anderson's mistake, and now Harris trying to claim back as many points as he can in P15. All Sports Racing are going to take the lead of the Constructors, or the Teams Championship, sorry I should say, at this rate. But it is not over yet. No, no, no. Daniel Downing, the star of race 1, currently in P5. Sam Van Olst, I said, was one to watch. He was 22nd in practice, and perhaps even qualifying. Jermo says Dan Downing is the only car in the top 7 that isn't Pulsus or All Sports Racing. So Downing, yeah, he's repping the Goldwing cars, but here is another Goldwing car in P9, so 2 of them are in the top 10. Sam Van Olst has had a cracking race so far as these guys are going side by side. Jesus Amundere slows down to let Gibson through by the looks of it, so I wonder if he'd contacted with him and then decided to let him go. Stephen Fry trying to read the situation. Into the right-hander. These guys currently fighting for 20th place. Now remember, race 2 was a reverse 6 grid. So if you finish 6th in race 1, you started on pole. That's why Cranston is leading the way. Going to call him a race 2 bandit at this rate. He won race 2 down in Donington Park, and it looks like he's in a good place to win race 2 here at Knockhill. But race 3 is a reverse top 12. So currently, we have got Alejandro Caraday for Lurchus Gaming Team. He's currently on reverse grid pole for race 3. Now that'd be interesting, because he's got Ridley side by side with him, our resident Australian driver, who we know has a little bit of a force field around him. I think we need to have a quick shout out for Andy Fox for Win It or Bin It, because he is currently sat in P8, having a nice quiet race. Normally finds himself in a little bit of trouble. He's got Sam Van Olst flashing his lights. That's not going to work, because everyone knows Sam Van Olst's lights are just stuck on all the time. He loves a big flash, does the Belgian driver. It's a shame to see the Fear Factor cars down and out by the looks of it. Ready for a strong, safe fight back in race 3. All the races are worth the same points. Harris looking closer again on his charge through. He's in P14 at the moment. He started near the back, down in 27th place. And as we've said, it's a tricky track to overtake on, but there it is. Sends it up the inside of Kieran Dempsey. Kieran Dempsey's going to try and get the switch back on the exit. Can't quite get it done. And Damien Harris moves up into P13. But look at Dempsey now. He's all over the back of him. Harris is doing the right thing by defending. He found out at Donington that some of these guys don't care what position they're in. They are going to race for it. And Dempsey has to back out of it because Damien's defended that position. And away he goes. Onwards to Caraday for, remember what we said? A reverse pole position for race 3. Now, I know what I would do in this situation if I can get that next position. I know it's all about the points, but based on how my race 1 went and race 2, if I can get Alejandro Caraday in P12 like this, up the inside into the hairpin, get a good exit, don't run him off too wide. There we go, done deal. Oh, almost. Bit of a flashing lights from Caraday there as Damien Harris moved over a little bit too early. I would now sit there in P12, personally, and take the pole position and try and win the race. But we know that the race win is not a done deal because these guys are going to fight for it. But he would have Ridley side by side with him on the grid in that Honda. Is he going to try and fight further up the grid now? What's Damien Harris going to do? What's his mindset going to be like? He's a new driver for us on this channel. I don't know if any of you guys have raced with any of these guys on circuit. But now it's interesting because we start to see, we're 2 rounds in of a 12-round championship. We're going to start to see how people's minds work. And this is why I personally love racing. I don't know about you guys. I don't think, though, that Damien Harris is going to settle for 12 because it looks like he's closed in on Ridley quite a lot. We'll see how that unfolds over the next 4 laps. There's 4 laps left of race 2. There is a small break between race 2 and 3, so don't panic, guys. We're not going straight back into it. You can have a quick rest if you've been watching away. Damien Harris really on the back of Carl Ridley now. What other close fights are out there? Daniel Downing is still sniffing away at Morgan Burkhardt's Audi rear. Morgan Burkhardt still trying to get past King as well. Just Evo Things says everyone should just defend, defend, defend. Yeah, of course they will, especially on a circuit like this. More so on a circuit like this, I think. Lundere. Oh, who's that that's gone off? Donny Henriksen. Did he go off by himself or was he helped? He went off by himself. There he goes. Loses a couple of positions. Big old bump. You see that little jump? That's a picture. Iku, if you're in the chat, get that picture. It's coming up that Broberg has crashed. How's he done that? He's been helped by Donny Henriksen. Oh, is he just going to brake too late? Yes, he does. Oh, Jesus, Amundere gets a big old push. Broberg knows his mistake. He doesn't take that position. But Amundere does lose a couple. That was a big, I'll tell you what, Jesus has done really well there. Because that was a big push into that hairpin. That's a heavy braking zone. As we see Jerry Agard and Duncan Murray and the 2 Hondas are going at it here. And Harris has moved up into P11 from Kyle Ridley. Here's these 2 go into the hairpin side by side. Can Duncan get it done around the outside? No. Jerry Agard's going to try and get the better exit. But it looks like Murray's got the better exit as they head down the main straight. Side by side they go. Down towards turn 1 for 21st place in this race. Duncan Murray round the outside of Jerry Agard into T1. He slides it round. A big old drift from Duncan Murray, the South African driver. Gets it stopped for turn 2. Can Jerry get a switch back? Can he get the better exit? He's got nowhere to go. He can't look up the inside there. Into the chicane they go. Up the hill. Bit of a break. And Jerry's got a little bit of a messy line through there. And now Donny is going to have a hell of a run on his teammate for Masters of Traction behind. Is he going to get that move done? No. Donny slots in behind. Wow. Good move from Duncan. There you go. I told you he can drive. It's not all just crashes. Not all crashing games for Duncan Murray. And now look, Donny Henriksen is going to pass Jerry Agard into the hairpin. As I can see Majorek and Corpus having a battle up ahead as well. They're on the main straight, so this happened in the hairpin. Here's Corpus going to keep it on the inside. He slots in, and that is a smart decision. I didn't think we were going to see many people overtaking into turn 1. It was always a big risk. More of a risk than it was needed, as everyone found out on lap 1. I'm looking forward to seeing the Fear Factor boys come back in for race 3. Anderson and Fritsch. As Andre Mayerek is looking to the inside. Oh, cheeky from Andre. He'd be the first to moan about a move like that. And now look, it's going to cost him. There he goes. 2 places down. Yeah. Into the hairpin. Am I going to... Oh, we're on the last lap. I thought I was going to miss the ending. Not quite. Dan Blake looks like he got a little bit wide on exit. I was too busy watching these four. We are on the final lap though as Jake Cranston enters the uphill right-hander onto the back straight. He's not under any pressure really. 4 attempts in this championship so far has not been any pressure as these two go side by side down the main straight. That's Eric Mannenveld trying to pass Jerry Agard. Hyundai versus Honda as Jake Cranston enters the final hairpin. Oh, Stephen King came under a bit of pressure from Morgan Burkhardt there, and Daniel Downing might get P4 on the line. Jake Cranston is going to take your win for All Sports Racing. Jameson Huffman makes it a 1-2, the first 1-2 of the season, I believe, and Stephen King does take P3 with Morgan Burkhardt P4 and Daniel Downing nearly getting P4 as well, but he finishes P5 with John Bailiff and Connor Mills in P6 and 7. Andy Fox is going to come home in P8 with Sam Van Olst right behind him in P9, and Damian Harris does take P10 in the end, so he's going to start second row, and he has got Burns and Ridley ahead of him. And that is race 2 sorted. So Morgan just tried sending it around the outside on that final lap. And nearly, very nearly, became a victim to Daniel Downing, but he did get the exit and across the line. And there they go. The All Sports cars all lined up with the Pulsars cars behind, and Daniel Downing all on his lonesome in the Goldwing car. Max Kloppert says, thank you for the coverage. Fun to watch. We'll check in later. Good. There's one race to go. We're going to have a quick 7-8 minute break before we head to race 3. And some people might go out for... Looks like Mats Borg Anderson's going to go out on track. Let's have a look at the static cams of the circuit. There he is. Andre Mayerek says, I do not recognise Knockhill as a legitimate racing circuit. The results, therefore, don't count. Germo says, so close yet so far. That's definitely him talking about Daniel Downing, his driver of choice to root for today. Always a good time in this break to show you the calendar for those of you that are just joining us for the first time here on the Racing Line or over on VCO Esports for the RLTC Championship. Currently, round 2, it is the 7th of February today, and next week we take our first break week of the season for Valentine's Day. And then we head to our quadruple header, the European stint. Zolder, Zandvoort, Hungaroring and Imola. Different tracks to what we've been racing on so far. And then we take another break before we head to our American leg. We've got Canadian Tire, Watkins Glen and Laguna Seca. And then our final break before we head to our final triple header of Interlagos, Twin Ring Motegi, Phillip Island, and then our celebration round. The championship will be over. We'll announce the winners 100 kilometres of Bathurst. Best circuit on the calendar, says IQ. Oh, every time. David Bauer, sound like a trumpy, lol. Man, it's so hard to overtake, says Dan Downing. 2 fastest laps, but no dub yet. I mean, come on. He's got to be happy with the consistency that he has been showing. He has to be. He's been in the top, and he's taken a good old points haul. Jerry Agard says, why am I here, lol? You're here to have fun, Jerry, and meet new people. Enjoy the racing, even if it is for wherever you finish. In fact, speaking of wherever he finished, I think it's time. And don't worry, I won't forget to turn off the music this time, I hope. But it is time to have a look at those overall results, don't you think? This is race 1 then. This is how it ended. Morgan Burkhard took the race win, first race winner today, with John Bailiff and Daniel Downing rounding off your podium. Stephen King, Jameson Huffman, Jake Cranston, Max Borg Anderson, Marcel Frisch, Eric Manenveld and Donny Henriksen round off your top 10. There is 7 Hyundais in the top 11 there. In terms of race 2, Masters Attraction. I definitely said Masters Attraction. Did I say Masters of Talk? No. Why would they change it so slyly? So slightly, Leishman. Delta, just get quicker, says Just Evo Things. He's got a point. This is your race 2 results. Jake Cranston, Jameson Huffman, Stephen King and Morgan Burkhard. Stephen King upsetting our first ever potential 1, 2, 3. We've never seen one. Not in 2 seasons of the Jet Cup and not in our first 2 rounds of the RLTC. I wonder if we will see one this season. We got close in the Jet Cup season 2 before each member of the team started deciding to spin in the pit lane or on the grass, whatever they wanted to do, by themselves though, basically. And now we got Stephen King being like, no all sports, you are not taking the first 1, 2, 3 that we've ever seen. Daniel Downing, P5. Duncan Ray says he bottled quali. John Bailiff, Connor Mills, 6th, 7th, Andy Fox, Sam Van Alsten, Damien Harris round off your top 10. It looks like Twitch is back up. Should we go live on Twitch for the final race, even though you've all joined us here? Evo thinks it's too much work, I'm already here. Of course I'm grateful for those of you that are already here, both on the Racing Line channel and on VCO Esports. Thank you for joining. It is race 3 very shortly. We've got about 40 seconds before the grid comes up, and we should get the driver of the day poll reset and ready. I'm going to post it now. Remember, you can only vote once. I'll post it again later. 10 seconds left, and we're going to tick over into race 3. I hope you grabbed your drink. I hope you are on the edge of your seats, because here we go again. And we're going to see our second safety car of the season. Or is everyone going to play it safe? And here's your grid. Carl Ridley takes pole position. Stephen Burns, Damien Harris, Sam Van Alst, Andy Fox and Connor Mills round off your top 6. John Bailiff, Daniel Downing, Morgan Burkhard, Stephen King, Jameson Huffman, Jake Cranston, your top 12. Caraday, Dempsey, Thornton, LeQuay, Corpus, Blake, Mayerek, Fry, Gibson, Murray, Henriksen, Manenveld, top 24. And Amundere, Agard, Broberg, Taki, Anderson and Frisch round off your field. Watch those Fear Factor cars at the back, because they are going to be flying through the order if they can. They need to do it cleanly if they want to survive. But they're fast. They're last. Where can they finish? 29th and 30th. Anderson and Frisch, Honda and Hyundai. How far up the order are they going to go? Who is going to get the best start? The lights come on. Lap 1 of 18. The final race. Here we go. Reverse top 12. 5 lights are on. And away they go. Who's going to get the best start? It looks fairly even, although there's wheel spin for Kyle Ridley, who's going to tumble down the order now. There he goes. He's fluffed the start. And Harris is going to move up into P1 into turn 1. Is he? Sends it down the inside. And Harris leads the way into turn 2. And that is exactly what he is going to want. But further down the order, is it going to be safe? Now that is how all 3 races should have looked. Although there's another. That's John Bailiff again, is it? Who has gone off onto the gravel on his first lap, and I don't think he was helped, but of course we will watch that later as they all come flying up single file, surviving through the chicane. No one needs to pass through there. Gibson and Henriksen are round. How did that happen? I have no idea. Here it is. Did the Audi lose? Donny Henrik. Oh, the Audi lost the rear end. Donny Henriksen was collected, and both in the wall they go, but it's still time for a safety car yet. So it might not be over for those two in this final race. Let's just see what happens. It's getting fairly close up here on the main straight. Go on, Stephen Price is Luke Stepney 10 on Twitch. So there are some Twitch viewers already. Even though we only went live for race 3, but on to lap 2 we go. And we see Dairy Corpus flying down the hill in P18. Uses Amundere, he's looking fairly close to Thornton. Bailiff is tumbling down the order. He's gone off again as people start flying through. Bailiff is having a nightmare around 3. He keeps going down the gravel, and that is Stephen Burns also going down. He's off into the gravel. That's 3 people into the pits. And Damien Harris is leading your way. Daniel Downing has just been passed by Connor Mills into the hairpin. Gibson using pogo sticks as shocks, potentially. And Murray and Corpus are going down the order as well, as Murray found himself in another incident. Shall we have a look at that? It's all kicking off in race 3, as we saw. A late dive, and then he just turns into him. He couldn't quite get it done. Oh, that was clumsy from Duncan Murray. That's why he finds himself in the crashes. It was a late break, and the car snatched on him. Straight into Corpus, who was a passenger in that crash, into the pits. Murray goes. Jerry Agard seems to be going down to 25th place. John Bailiff is looking to pass the Honda of Caraday. Oh, big old bounce as he came back onto track then. He does go up into P11. 2 wide, 2 by 2 into the hairpin they go. Caraday looks feisty against the Quay in the Audi. That looks like a bit of netcode. That car was there, the purple Hyundai. Harris looking fairly clear as Majorek and Blake are going side by side. Murray nearly comes straight out into traffic. Majorek round the outside. He's going to have the inside for turn 2. He's going to have the outside for turn 3. Now that's a dangerous place to be because you're putting yourself in the trust of everyone on your inside, and Manintveld slots in. Majorek plays it smart there. And he does show flashes of intelligence. There you go. He loves an opinion, but who doesn't? Freedom of speech and all that. And Manintveld looks to send it on Dan Blake. He's going to spin himself round. Manintveld goes round, and now look, Andre takes the position back as Van Olst. Daniel Downing is tumbling down the order. Why? What has happened to Dan, and why has he gone down to 7th place? I thought he'd spun then. But it's looking really close up here. Andy Fox is going side by side with Connor Mills as they head down towards turn 1. Connor Mills is on the inside as they head down towards turn 1, but Andy Fox is not one to normally back out. He's going to have to here, I think. He does. Connor Mills gets it done. Andy Fox is going to try and send it up the inside of turn 2. Daniel Downing with the lunge on Andy Fox. Can he get that done? He does. Oh, and John Bailiff. No, that's Stephen King gets punted. Andy Fox spin Daniel Downing round, and that is going to be a safety car. Oh, there was a lot going on then. number of cars involved in that. Well, two or three incidents there in that section then. Let's see if we can have some replays whilst they all line up. Brilliant move from Daniel Down in there. And then what happened? Oh. Sends it into turn 3. Cranston behind does the same to King. Now I'm sure he gave him room on the exit. Cranston did not do that to King. Andy Fox just comes back on. So you could say that Downing could have given more room. You could say that Fox handled his car. He didn't really want to touch the grass, did Fox. That's going to be a tricky one to call. Cranston definitely gained an advantage there from contact with King as well. And that is how fast the race could be undone. Now, there's still drivers not coming out of the pits just yet. It looks like Henriksen might be gone. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, just Evo things. It's looking like a racing incident from our point of view, isn't it? You had one that wanted to stay on track as the grass was coming up fast, and the other one was just holding his straight line, who had given enough room, but only whilst the curb was there, and the curb was obviously ending. It's going to be frustrating as the lights go off on the pace car, so the pace car is coming in this lap. There's no point in shortening it round Knockhill. Although I think Dan Downing, I don't know if he's sorted out his pit stop quick enough, because he might actually be a lap down. Keep seeing people swap positions, which we shouldn't be seeing during the pace car. Donny has a nation to run. Yes, he does. Damien Harris then. Here he is. 2 laps down, says F1 Delta. On board, on the rear of Damien Harris. The pace car, he's given the pace car a little gap so that he can go when he wants to. Kyle Ridley's looking feisty. It is up to the leader. I think he's gone. He has gone. A brilliant restart from Damien Harris. He's caught Ridley sleeping a little bit. The lights go out and we go on to lap 8 with 10 laps to go, and Harris pulls a 9/10 lead on the safety car restart alone. And back behind, oh, there going to be any overtakes. Connor Mills, oh, sends it. He's going to have to give that position back. He should give that position back, and it will stop him from getting a position swap. Let's see if he does that. It will be worth his while. There's no point in trying to continue when he knows that penalty will be incoming. It looks like a rear quarter panel penalty. $100 messages on YouTube. Well done, guys. We've done that without Twitch today, and they're normally the chatty ones. Heading towards the hairpin now. Is anyone going to make any late sends? Cranston thinks better of it. All of them sort of concertina up into that hairpin. It's the Pulsars and All Sports cars all together again, as we see Harris, Ridley and Vanol start running off in the distance. Marcel Frisch is up into 19th place from 30th. Where is Mats Borg Anderson? He is in 21st, so they are climbing their way up the order, and they've got 9 laps to get even further. Oh, look at that. Mannenfeld comes back into the inside of turn 3. He needs to give room on the exit. Doesn't quite. Marcel Frisch is still there. Mannenfeld cuts across. Up into the chicane they go. That was a hell of a move I think we can put that down to a touring car move, although it was just on the limit as we see Sebastian Broberg send it out the inside of the right-hander, goes a little bit wide, gets that position done on Jesus Amundre, and Dan Thornton is now going to come through on Jesus. He's on the inside for the hairpin. Can he brake later? He should do. He's fully alongside. That move is pretty much a done deal for Dan Thornton, who's having a good round, we should say, here in the RLTC for round 2. I am assuming that Mr. Thornton would be happy with his performance so far in the 3 races, but we have got 8 laps to go, so let's not speak too soon as they go side by side down the main straight, heading towards turn 1 at Knockhill International Race Circuit. Jesus around the outside, Dan Thornton on the inside. Is the move done? It looks to be done now. Is Jesus going to try and send it back? No. Dan Thornton moves up into P17. Done deal. And that, at the top of your screens, is the leader of each car class. So Audi RS3, Harris is your leader. He is the leader of the race. A 1.1 second lead he has, as Anderson has passed Frisch there. I wonder if he made a mistake. Marcel Frisch, keeps saying his name 2 different ways. Blake and Caraday are going side by side into the hairpin. Caraday's making a move up the inside for the hairpin, gets the move done. Blake's going to get a switchback though with those hideous green wheels on the Win It or Bin It car. And now look at the run that he's got. Andre Mayerek's going to think, I want a piece of this. Can I follow one of you through? Who's he going to pick? Caraday on the left or Blake on the right? It looks like he's just going to lift off and back out of it, and as does Caraday. Smart move. Kyle Ridley in P2 of the race is currently leading your Honda Civic class, and Stephen King in P6 is leading all of the Hyundais, as we saw Daniel Downing drop down the order a number of laps. 4 Audis are in the top 5, and we thought this was going to be an Hyundai dominance as we see the one lone Honda of Kyle Ridley, our Australian driver. There goes Sebastian Broberg on Andre Mayerek back there, sending it up the inside of that right-hander again. Oh, a bit of contact. Andre's not going to be happy with that because I feel like that move was done before they made contact. But he has lost a number of positions. But then again, he did say he's not counting the results of this track because he doesn't class it as a real racetrack. Jerry said, why is he here? Why has he bothered showing up? And he's here in 22nd place. That's 8 places away from last, my prayer. Hard for Hyundai to dominate when we DNF, says Sol Slenderman. There are 2 of them, to be fair, that have been screwed down there that should be higher. Donny, the safety car came out. You should have brought the car back out. You never know where you could have been. Jerry's up there as Thornton is tumbling down the order. Did we put the commentator's curse on him? We said he was doing well and he was going to be happy with today's event. And there he is. He's going to need to rejoin at the top of the hill. That is the best place to do it. Has he done that himself? Broberg. Oh, he's broke on the gravel. Drifted. Nearly saved it. That would have been a hell of a save. And in the tyre wall he goes. He's going to be frustrated with that for sure. Broberg is making moves though. If he's climbing up that order, who's he chasing down now? Sebastian Broberg. Dan Thornton does go into the pit, so he's going to have damage. Downwind is going to gain a position from that. That's 3 Hyundais now, Donny Henriksen, that are, you could say, out or crashed or with damage, as Anderson makes another move in P17. Broberg nearly sends it on Caraday. Where's Anderson? There he is in P17, the number 76 Honda. I think Thornton had to jump back to the pits. Stephen Fry is looking fairly close to Jerry Agard there in the Meatball Motorsport Hyundai. Oh, look at that. Brakes much later than the Honda. This is for 21st place now as we see Dan Thornton go out of the race. Can they get a top 20 at this rate? As Broberg does make a move on Caraday. Oh, so we try going around the outside. He's a late breaker, is Broberg. The Honda is going to be perfectly suited to this guy's driving style. The Swedish driver, the first Swede that we've had on the racing line, as Maninveld tries to go for a gap that wasn't really there. That could have definitely been a hefty penalty if he tried forcing his way through that gap. But now he's going to try and send it into turn 3. Is he? He's going to be a hell of a commitment. He does. And Mats Borg Anderson behind is going to think, do you know what? Yeah, good idea. I'll follow you through. But they're still side by side as they head up to the chicane. It's dangerous. Maninveld backs out. Caraday holds it round the outside of the chicane. And now Mats Borg Anderson is going to come through on the inside of Eric Maninveld. Into the right-hander he goes. Brakes late. Can he get the run on the exit? In towards the hairpin is Van Olst and Burkhardt are fighting for a podium up in the lead, but we've got a 4-car fight here. I can't really take my eyes off. Where is Mats Borg Anderson going to come out? Caraday defends the inside. Burkhardt looks to have got past Sam Van Olst. We'll get a replay of that as Malinveld nearly shuts the door on Anderson. And Frisch is going to be tagged round by Agard, as Agard is now facing the wrong way. That's another Masters Attraction car. They are having an absolute nightmare, our Masters Attraction here at Knockhill. Oh, clumsy. Constantina. John Bailiff's gone off track again. That's not what I wanted to see. I want to see this fight. Morgan Burkhardt, Sam Van Olst. This was for P3. They're heading down the main straight, and these two aren't ones to back out. Morgan Burkhardt round the outside of turn 1. Gets it on track. Sam Van Olst is going to get the switch back. The battle continues into turn 3 they go. And a wicked move there from Morgan Burkhardt, who moves up into a podium spot for All Sports Racing. That's Ridley and Mills up the road. Let's go back live and catch up with what is going on, because I'm losing track of time. It's lap 16 of 18. Do you know what? I don't even know how Mills got onto the podium. I don't even remember seeing him climb his way up there. But there he is. Cranston has definitely crashed back there. There he is. I just heard it. How did that happen? Honda bounce onto the gravel. Spin. Oh, big save. Stephen King nearly avoided that with expert reactions there. John Bailiff is going to try and defend from Jamison Huffman, and that is teamwork. Did you see that defense? Let's have another look at that from Jonathan Bailiff. Watch this. Goes up the inside of Jamison Huffman as they both try and avoid the spinning Honda of Jake Cranston, and then Jamison Huffman tries to get the switch back, and John moves straight over to the right to hold on to that position, and now Pulsus lead that All Sports car. They've had a hell of a drive so far. Let's go back live and catch up with what is going on, because Mills has lost the position to Burkhardt now. It is all going on in these final stages. There's only one lap left. How did this pass happen? There's replays all over the place. Connor Mills didn't leave the inside open, did he? He did, and Morgan Burkhardt is going to take it. That was clumsy from Mills, but he's trying to get the stronger exit, and then Morgan's just going to shut it, and then down the main straight they go. Let's go back live and see how this battle is continuing, because Mills, currently in P3, is chasing down chasing down Burkhardt for another podium. On to the final lap we go as Harris leads the way, 3.3 seconds from Carl Ridley, who is currently in P2. Oh, look at the big slide from the Audi of Morgan Burkhardt as he absolutely yeets it over the curve of turn 1. And now Connor Mills is all over the back of him. What can Connor Mills do? He's got one lap to do it. It's lap 18 of 18, and he's got the All Sports car just ahead. He doesn't look like he's got the grip to try and fight forward. Sam Van Olst is right behind him as well. Into the right-hander they go. It's going to have to be a hell of a send if he can get it done. As we see Mannenveld swapping positions, I've got a feeling that this is a done deal as we see Harris up the road enter their hairpin. That is your race leader. He's not going to make it from here. That is too far back. Damian Harris, there he is, just passing Jerry Agard up the road. He's going to weave down the straight and across the line. Your winner for race 3, Damian Owen Harris, with Carl Ridley in P2 for Win It or Bin It Racing. Morgan Burkhardt does take the podium in the end with Connor Mills in P4, Sam Van Olst P5, a great showing from him. Remember, we saw him in 22nd earlier on in the day. Stephen King P6, Jamison Huffman for P7, did get past Jonathan Bailiff in the end. How did that happen? Let's see how that happened. Was it the last lap dive into the hairpin? Round the outside, and Jamison does get entitled to room there on the exit, and then it's a drag race down to the finish line. So Jamison done it on the line of lap 18 to take that position. That'll be frustrating for John Bailiff and Andy Fox. Is that another strong position for Andy Fox in P9? Yes, it is. Oh, Ridley finds himself in the wall there on the in lap. Don't know how he did that. As we see the cars come round and into the pits they go. Oh, he's doing donuts for his P2. That's what he's doing. Is he going to do any more? Bit of a wheel spin celebration. He is waving. Is this live? Amazing commentary, says Budapest. It is live. We are live right now. I'm reading your comments. Great Racing says just Evo Things on YouTube. Thank you for joining us over on VCO Esports and the Racing Line YouTube as we see the cars all coming in. Final lap is done. Kyle Ridley celebrating his P2 there. As we see, where did Stephen Burns finish in the end? 25th. Jerry Agard did get 23rd, even though he had those spins. Marcel Friesch went from 30th to 22nd. Mats Anderson got to 16th in the end. So he climbed his way through. Well, well, well. That is where we're at, people. That is where we're at. This is your results. Let's have a look at the results for the feature race then. Our final race of the day. Race 3. Damien Harris takes the win with Kyle Ridley in P2. A lone Honda in a 4-way Audi fight around here at Knockhill. Morgan Burkhardt snatches a podium from the clutches of Connor Mills there. I don't even know how Connor got to P3, to be honest. But there he was. And he left the inside open for none other than Burkhardt. If it was someone else, maybe they wouldn't have taken it. But Burkhardt will always go for a gap if there is one big enough. Sam Van Olst, P5. He's had a fantastic round for Goldwing Motorsport. Stephen King, P6. A much better round for him than Donington in round 1. Jameson Huffman, the same goes for him. He was fighting for 27th. Around that sort of area in Donington, and here he is in the top 10, I think, in all 3 races. John Bailiff losing out on the line in P8. Andy Fox, P9. He'll be happy with that, and I don't think, well, for race 3 anyway, I don't think there's a penalty coming his way, since we all saw that it was a stingy racing incident for Daniel Down in there, just getting pit manoeuvred into the wall. Kieran Dempsey takes a P10 for Meatball Motorsport. He was a little undiscovered assassin today to get a P10. We didn't really see much of the Meatball Motorsport car. Jake Cranston for All Sports finishes in P11 in the end after going off the track and in the wall in the late stages of the race. Ika Quay, for those of you that haven't joined us over the first couple of broadcasts and who are now going to join us for the rest of the broadcasts, of course, whether it's on VCO or here, Ika Quay in the Jetta Cup is normally, I think, you could say midfield. Like, midfield is fair. We're talking 15th to 20th regular, with the occasional showing of a flash of a podium on random tracks. We get to the RLTC, and on media day, he pulls out 3 top 10 finishes, and we were blown away. But then Donington for Ika Quay was just not. It wasn't his round really. We didn't see much of him. He wasn't up there. But now here he is coming back with the P12. I'm sure he's going to be wanting to keep those finishes coming in for the Lurchus Academy team so that they can keep outperforming the Lurchus Gaming team, their A team. Think of it as Red Bull and AlphaTauri. Currently, AlphaTauri ahead of Red Bull Racing. Dan Blake, P13 in the Hyundai for Win It or Bin It Racing. He'll be happy with that. And Sebastian Broberg was making moves left, right and centre. The Swede for the Meatball Motorsport team. Eric Mannenfeld was also a star of the show today. He came up with a few good moves. He was definitely racing a lot. I've just realised there's so much going on in these races. I'm going to post this link again. It is time, if you can cast your thinking back to all 3 races that we've seen, it is time to vote your driver of the day. I've posted the link in chat across all 3 channels. If you just click that link, click the name you want and submit. You should only be able to do it once. If you've got too much time on your hands to vote more than once, I don't know what to say, but I think it collects email addresses anyway. So, yeah, give a driver a vote. Who do you think is your driver of the day? Who put on the biggest show? There's so much going on. And, of course, follow us on Twitter, or VCO on Twitter. They put some tweets out as well to see throughout the week. There'll be votes for the overtake of the week. You'll see who got the fastest laps in the races. I believe Dan Downing got the first 2. You'll see the race, obviously the free race winners. That post normally goes up on a Sunday, etc., etc. Dan Blake, Sebastian Broberg, Eric Mannenfeld. Matt Sanderson started at the back, up to 16th place, gets 15 points in the end. And Caraday and Jesus Amundre for Lurchus Gaming there in 17th and 18th. I don't think they'll be disappointed with that. That's a good showing from those 2. Caraday was definitely very racy today, and we saw Jesus have a couple of sends. It's just difficult to send that Hyundai, I think. The next up, let's have a look at the next page then. So Andre Majorek is P19, takes 12 points. Stephen Fry, David Corpus, Marcel Fritsch, Jerry Agar, Duncan Murray, Stephen Burns, Dan Downing, Dan Thornton, Mod Taki, Joseph Gibson, and Donny Henriksen rounds off your field. 18 laps down. He had enough straight up. Donny was out of here. That was very if we're comparing it to British touring cars, Donny was Jason Plato in that race. I think he's been shafted in the race. No fault of his own. Off he goes. He's gone home. No media for Donny Henriksen. Twitter blackout, Lewis Hamilton style. We won't hear from him now until the next round, which is in Europe. It's Zolder, I believe. in 2 weeks' time. Not next week. It's Valentine's Day next week, so we can all have a break. And then the week after, it's a quadruple header, the European stint. It is interview time, though. Whilst you're all voting for your driver of the day, and I get spammed by random people saying vum.today and vum.red, we'll don't go on those websites, by the way, because they're definitely obviously fake. I shouldn't need to say that, but I know there's people out there that be like, oh, what's this? So don't do that. It's interview time, and I think it is only right that we let's go and have a look in the Discord. I haven't looked in here in a while. Oh, we've got a few people in the interview waiting room. We do. Where is Damien Harris around this time? He won race 3. Fear Factor not seeming to be here. I can see Matsborg Anderson. I can't see Marcel. He's had enough. He's gone. Damien's done one. Race 3 winner. Let's speak to Kyle Ridley, I think deserves. We don't get to speak to Kyle Ridley that often. He's the only Australian on the grid. And he takes a P2. Kyle, how are you feeling?
Amazed. I'm very shocked that I grabbed the P2 today.
You're shocked about it, but there it is. I mean, you started on the front row, and we didn't think. Well, I didn't think that you were going to hold on to it after that start.
Yes.
Because you got a lot of wheel spin on the start.
Yeah, it was a really bad start. I guess the nerves of having my first pole got to me. But yeah, I was lucky with a few people having accidents in front of me. Sam made a mistake into the hairpin, which allowed me to get through before the safety car. And yeah, I just had just enough pace to hold off the guys behind, because they'll catch me 3/10 a lap. But each time they'll catch me, they'll make a mistake or battle, and handed me P2. It's a great win. Also, great P2 today. Feels like a win for me.
Yeah, of course. We saw you doing some celebratory donuts and some wheel spins at the end of the race, and it's rightly deserved. And there was talk amongst the paddock, as it were, before the race began. We've just seen Sam Vanol's mistake on screen. Actually, he just went wide. Ahead you go, and then I guess the safety car came out not long after. But there was talk before the race that it was going to be a Hyundai domination. But realistically, and I think we've said this a couple times now, yes, each car has its own perks, but they are fairly close across the board, don't you think? I mean, you had 5 out. You were the only Honda in the top 5 Audis and no Hyundais in the end in race 3. Obviously, they all had their own issues, but it seems fairly close from what we're seeing.
Yeah, all the cars have their perks and downfalls. The Honda was pretty sketchy over the bumps, so the fact that all 3 races I didn't have an incident over the bumps was very nice, because in practice I had many incidents. But yeah, just finishing P2 with the Honda makes it even sweeter. Of
course. And as usual, Carl, I can't remember if we've had any interviews with you before, but here we are. Normally when we say goodbye, you get to say hello or thank you to someone. Is there anyone that you want to say hello to before I let you go and grab someone else?
Yeah, well, I have had one podium in the Jetta Cup, but when I did that podium, I forgot to thank you. Thank you for this beautiful community you have created, and letting me be a part of it. Very nice.
Oh, Kyle, it's too early to get soppy, but it means a lot. Thank you for the kind words. Do it again. Do it again
for me.
Yeah, do it again in round 12. Not early in time, early in the calendar. Oh, go on.
I'll tell you, when I started the season, a podium was not on the table. So the fact that I am here in the podium with a reverse grid, either or, but I'm here. So I don't expect to be here again.
No worries. Well, we get to see your lovely Win It or Bin It car in slow motion with the Australian flag on the back at least today, and I'm sure we'll see you again at some point. Thank you very much, Carl. We'll speak to you soon.
Peace.
Oh, he said peace. He said peace. Right, who else? Let me just have a quick look at these. Let's grab Morgan, because Morgan did win race 1. Morgan Burkhardt, race 1 winner. Tell us about your races, Morgan. How are you feeling today?
I am feeling amazing. This was a good turnaround after last week. I mean, last week wasn't bad. It was just... And the first race and the third race were pretty decent. And then the second race, I kind of had a little bit of a red mist issue. But this one is pretty good. Made a really good start all 3 races. Was able to just stay out of trouble for the most part. and just pick up the chances where I could. So I'm pretty happy with that. No major incidents. Picked up, what, 2 podiums and a 4th?
Yes, yeah, strong results for all sports all round, I think. I'm trying to think back to your race 2. I can't think of the incident. There was one contact with Mills in turn 1. Was that race 2 or race 3?
I think it was race 3. Yeah.
Okay, and then obviously, from your point of view, and I'm sure he had other things going on in his mind, but did you expect him to leave the inside open in the hairpin towards the later phase of that race, or was it just an opportunistic move that you thought, actually, he's let me have this, so I'm going to take that?
Well, I wouldn't say I expected it, but I had a feeling that we both knew it was kind of an iffy incident. So I kind of looked to the inside, and when he didn't defend, I was like, all right, I'll have it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was able to keep him behind. Had a big old rallycross moment going over the turn 1 curb on the last lap, but
we saw actually that was on stream. You got I'm pretty sure all 4 wheels came off the ground. It was a big old jump. I'm sure if Iku's still in chat, then he'll try and find that. It was on the last lap. Get a picture of you flying. But yeah, no, it was a good round all for the team especially. Is there anyone, before I let you go, Morgan? Obviously, congratulations on the finishes. Is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to as per usual?
Definitely like to thank the rest of the team. We've had really good showing. Good for the team points, good for the driver standings. So congratulations to Jake and Jameson. They've done a really good job today. Thank you to everybody else at All Sports Racing for the support. Team Watson as well, who we've newly partnered with, and of course Premier Racing Setups. I know it's a fixed series, but they still help out with everything else otherwise. So
of course. Thank you very much, Morgan. Good to speak to you. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
There he goes. One more interview, I think, and then we'll announce driver of the day and we'll call it there. Jake Cranston did win race 2 with Jameson Huffman was there as well. Let's have a quick look at the driver of the day votes. They've just walked out the interview room. I'll chase them in a second. Let's click on this straw poll thing. Where are we? Results. 5 votes. That is, now we're talking. Look at that. So there are votes across the board. Your winner, your driver of the day, and I don't think this is like, you can't say this is wrong, especially after such a stern attack. Although you could say that maybe there's always 2 sides to a battle, isn't there? But Daniel Downing is your driver of the day with 5 votes. 31.25% of the votes goes to Daniel Downing, with Stephen King having 4 votes. 25% goes to him. I'll tell you who's not on there, and this is what I mean by there's 2 sides to a battle. John Bailiff isn't on there, and as much as we could say Dan Downing is driver of the day for his attack on John Bailiff, you have to say John Bailiff defended, but no votes for that man. Morgan Burkhardt got 2. Damien Harris has got a vote. Connor Mills, Andy Fox, Carl Ridley, and Yeezus Amundere were also on that board of voted drivers. So Daniel Downing has had a difficult driver of the day to win there, and he has won it with 5 votes. He's done well there, and he does deserve it. Yes, Dan Downing says. Martin Wallace, congrats. We got one more interview. Let's do that, and then we'll round it off and start looking at these incidents to give out penalties throughout the week. I guess, well, it's got to be another race winner, hasn't it? We've spoken to P2 in race 3, race winner of race 1. So let's bring in, I think we can bring in both of them. They were both there, unless Jameson has gone to bed because he's only a young'un. But Jake Cranston's in the room. Tell us how you're feeling, Jake. How did that go from your end?
Well, first off, yeah, Jameson has gone. But he's happy for once. He's actually happy, so yeah, it's good for the team. I was all right, and then you know what I'm like. I'm annoyed at myself for that spin at the end, but there's not really much I can do about it now. I'm pretty happy with only dropping down to 11th at the end. It was a good round for all sports.
It was a very good round for all sports. And of course, like you said, there's always going to be frustrations with things that happen in the races. We saw that spin, and it was towards the end, which was unfortunate, because obviously that gives you the least amount of time to catch back up and gain those places back. And yeah, you're going to focus on that P11. But let's not forget, race winner of race 2 for the 2nd round in a row. From And I don't know if you're doing that racing driver thing where you're like, nah, it's not going to happen this season, not going to happen, not going to get any wins. But that's now 2 wins, 2 rounds on the bounce. Surely you're going to go into round 3 in 2 weeks' time a little bit more confident that you can get those wins.
Well, the first round.
Did you hear that? Someone's just paid for Smooth Operator on the Twitch chat. That'd
Oh, I
be
can't hear
Jerry.
that.
Oh, okay. Go on.
Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, the first round after the media day, I was like, oh, I'm not going to win. It's too difficult. And then I did. And then this one, I was like, oh, I'm not going to win. It's Knockhill, the Honda shit. And somehow I managed to. Oh, sorry for swearing, but
It's okay. Apologies, Channel 4. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. My excuse for next time is I have never raced on Zolder before, so there you go.
Oh, you've already lined it up, nice and early. Never raced on Zolder. I mean, tell us a little bit about us. Oh, there's a great slow motion shot of you and Stevie.
Where's Palmer?
Oh,
Palmer is retired.
Twitch sounds. Hang on, I'm turning them off because I can't hear a thing. Where is it?
What the hell is that?
How do they have so many points? What was I saying? Oh yeah, the All Sports team was very strong coming out the gates this round. As a 3, like no individual was too strong. Now have we got some private test sessions going on throughout the week to find this pace? Are we putting in the work and is it showing?
Well, if there is any, I haven't been invited to them.
No, so it is just raw pace. There you go. We're not
Yeah.
no excuses then for Zolder. I don't care if you've never driven. You'll be quick, I'm sure.
I hope so.
As usual, it's been a pleasure, Jake. Is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go?
Nah, it's all right this time. I'm just sorry for swearing. No, I'll see you next time.
It's got no one to say hello to. Not even the missus.
No, she's on the phone in the other room. She's not even watching this week.
Oh wow, called her out. Everyone is
I
calling her
know.
out. Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure. We'll speak to you soon, Jake. Well done on your win.
That's it. Thank you. Bye.
Down, but up. Such a roller coaster of emotions is racing. Yeah, I thought I had turned it off, Martin. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if you guys could hear that or if it's just Twitch that can hear that, but it comes through my ears loud. All of them. I think it does come through for you guys because it comes through on the desktop. That is it. 3 interviews done. Standings will be posted throughout the week. We've got penalties to apply from tonight, I am sure. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for joining us on the Racing Line YouTube, the VCO Esports YouTube, and for those of you that joined for just Race 3 on Twitch. Because obviously we only... yeah. See, Andre is very loud. I told you. Imagine that in your ears. Yeah, sorry, Twitch. I don't know what happened with this. I don't even know what API stands for, but they had some connection issue that wouldn't let us let anyone connect for the first 2 races, but we managed to get it up and running for race 3. Thank you all again for joining us. The support means a lot, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Enjoy Valentine's Day. We'll see you in 2 weeks for round 3 of the RLTC. If I don't see you on track this week, I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace.